Palakpakan po natin ang ating konsehal. Likewise, Mr. Sarmiento, Susana Garcia, Susie for sure. Ay patawag ng Susana. Also have here with us this afternoon ang ating pong Bishop ng Calmana Chapter, si Bishop Iniguez. Palakpakan po natin. Ang ating pong councilors from 2nd District, Mr. Chito Abel, Councilor Tino Bagus, from 1st District, Councilor Andy Mabagos, our Vice Mayor Edgar Verice. We're about to start in a few minutes time, so all the members of the CDC of Caloocan City, please occupy your seat. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Mga kasama sa pamamahala sa pamahalaan, mga bisita, magandang hapon po sa inyo. Palakpakan po natin ang pagdating ng ating punong lungsod, Mayor Recong Echeverry. Na samahan po ang ating punong lungsod sa harapan. Sabi nga po pagdating sa lungsod ng Caloocan, isang maganda o isang very nice afternoon po sa inyong lahat. Sa umagang ito, sa hapong ito, ay inaanyayahan natin ang ating pinagpipitagan, the Most Reverend Gracias S. Iniguez Jr., Bishop of the Diocese of Caloocan, para sa panalangin. Inaanyayahan ko pong lahat na magsitayo.
Diyos na may likha at patnubay ng buhay, kinikilala namin na kayo po ay nasa lahat ng mga kaganapan, nasa lahat ng inyong nilikha. Sa hapong ito, sa ikalawang General Assembly ng City Development Council sa taong ito, minsan pa pong inaanyayahan namin na ipadama ninyo na kayo ay aming kapiling sa makabuluhan at makasaysayang pagsasama-sama at talakayang ito. Gisingin po ninyo ang aming kamalayan upang ang inyong presensya ang siyang maging inspirasyon, ang siyang maging saligan ng lahat ng mga magaganap, ng lahat ng aming mga maiisip, ng lahat ng aming mga panukala at aming pagkakaisahan. Tunay nga, aming Ama at Panginoon, kami ay iyong mga lingkod at kinikilala namin na sa aming mga ginagampanan ngayon sa pamahalaan at sa lipunan, isinusugo mo kami upang maging mga kasangkapan at daan ng kapayapaan, pagkakaisa at kaunlaran na iyong hinahangad para sa aming lahat. Kaya mahal naming Ama, mahal naming Panginoon, gawin mo pong tunay na makasaysayan, tunay na makabuluhan ang pagpupulong na ito upang ang iyong kalooban ay aming sama-samang hanapin at bigyan ng katuparan dito sa aming sambayanan na iyong pinagpapala at hangad mo magkamasa ng ganap na kaunlaran at kasiganahan. Tulungan mo kami na may taguyod ang mga dakilang katotohanan ito at laging makisa sa iyong kalooban. At kami naririto handang maging iyong mga lingkod at lingkod ng aming mga pinamamahalaan lahat ng aming magkasamaan sa lipunan. Sa iyo, Ama, sa pamamagitan ng aming tapat na paglilingkod, nawa lagi ang kapurihan, ang kaluwalhatian, ngayon at sa lahat ng araw at magpakailanman, sa ngalan ni Jesucristo, aming Panginoon.
Mr. Julius Albert Gonzalez. The Honorable City Mayor Enrico Recome for the calling of the Assembly to order.
Council General Assembly, September 21, 2012, to order.
Thank you very much. Head of the CDC Secretariat to be recognized for the roll call and announcement of quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Aurora Ciego is hereby recognized.
Is to stand up and be recognized. Members from the national government agencies. Thank you. Members from the different business sectors and private sectors. From the different parish pastoral councils. Members from the cooperatives. From the different people's organizations. From the different homeowners associations. Mr. Chairman, we have in attendance today a total number of 240 members of the CDC. So may we request for the for the declaration of a quorum.
Announcement of quorum, there being a more than the majority of the members of the City Development Council, we now have a quorum and declare to be so.
May we now request again that Ms. Aurora C. Ciego be recognized for the reading of the approval of the minutes of the previous City Development Council General Assembly held of September 28 of 2011.
Ms. Aurora Ciego is again recognized.
So the General Assembly held last September 28, 2011 of the Caloocan City Development Council. The City Development Council General Assembly commenced with a prayer through a multimedia presentation of the song You Raise Me Up prepared by the City Planning, and this was followed by the singing of the national anthem. After being recognized by the chairman, Mrs. Ciego head of the CTPD and the CDC Secretariat, announced the attendance at 69%, comprising of 225 members. The CDC Chairman, Honorable Enrico Licom Echeverri, made his call to order at around 3:25 p.m. Ms. Shego was again recognized by the Chairman for the reading of the minutes of the previous CDC General Assembly held last June 1, 2011. After enumerating the highlights of the last assembly, Mr. Antonio Ke, representative of Mr. Carlos V. Cabuchan of the Caloocan Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, moved for the consideration of the minutes. With no objections, the minutes was approved by the Chairman. In his message, City Mayor Enrico Licom Echeverri emphasized the latest accomplishments of his administration since his last city address to the Council. The most significant of which is the award given to the city as a result of an excellent score in all categories of governance, financial accountability, transparency, and participation. This was appraised through the local governance performance management system of the Department of the Interior and Local Governments. Thus, the city was given the Seal of Good Housekeeping Award. It's a bronze award for 2011. Other noteworthy accomplishments on financial stability, peace, security, and disaster risk management, education, infrastructure, health, and housing were also stated by the Chairman. He also mentioned several proposed projects lined up for 2012. Among them are the conduct of structural survey of the Manotok property for lot disposition to identified beneficiaries, the construction of a new school building for the University of Caloocan City with 80 classrooms at the Tandangsora campus, the establishment of a hospital in North Caloocan with 380 million standby loan from the Philippine Veterans Bank and 300 million pesos from the Department of Health, upgrade the quality of services of various health centers throughout the city with 1.2 million pesos each fled from the DOH. Earmark 2.6 billion worth of priority infrastructure projects, roads and drainage improvements, installation of solar-powered streetlights, and construction of depots in almost all the 100 barangays, and continuous availment of the third tranche of the salary standardization and the 14th month pay of the City Hall employees. Likewise, he asked for its civil servants' cooperation as the city government continue to pursue its dreams and aspirations toward its golden anniversary on February 16, 2011. Afterwards, 3 CDC resolutions were read for approval. Ms. Shego was recognized for the reading of CDC Resolution Number CMDCOM 11-004, a resolution approving the Caloocan City 2011 to 2013 Medium-Term Development Plan. Barangay Chairman Alexander V. Mangasar of Barangay 14 moved for the approval and was seconded by Barangay Chairman Benito Aysay of Barangay 24. With no objections from the floor, the resolution was further approved. Ms. Christine D. Agustan, Secretary to the Mayor and member of the CDC Executive Committee, was recognized for the reading of CDC Resolution Number CMDCOM 11-005, a resolution approving the Caloocan City Annual Investment Plan for 2012. Barangay Chairman Pedro A. Ramirez of Barangay 183 moved for its endorsement. It was seconded by Barangay Chairman Ricardo C. Garcia of Barangay 92 and was subsequently approved by everybody. There being no other agenda to be discussed, the quorum was closed at around 4:50 in the afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Shego. Ms. Shego, and I Ms. Shego. Captain Dante Abuda is hereby recognized.
Mr. Chairman, and for the approval of the previous assembly, be approved.
we hear right, you're moving for the approval of the minutes of the previous assembly. Okay, there having been a motion, any second to that effect? We see one.
I am Mr. Eddie Haingpol ng Kamarin homeowners. I second the motion.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
Any second on the motion? Hearing none, seeing none, the same is approved.
The awardee of the Seal of Good Housekeeping, only one of the four in Metro Manila, no other than our City Mayor, Enrico Echeverri, to present his message to this assembly.
City Administrator Russell Ramirez, the distinguished gentlemen and members of the Sangguniang Panglungsod, led by our Vice Mayor Egay Arize, you're free to clap. Councilors Andy Mabagos, who is here deciding to get re-elected. Councilor Tino Bagus, showing his face here, wishing to be re-elected. Councilor Chito Abel, always automatic, wanted to be number one. And of course, the Honorable Dante Prado, who looks like his son, Bullet Prado, from the 1st District of Caloocan. Representatives of the business sectors, non-government organizations, members of our civil society, from the Manila North Tollways Corporation, led by Mr. Robbie Tanyada, from Tollways Management Corporation, from Mercury Drug Corporation, Bonifacio Monumento Circle, Philippine Business Bank, from the Lions Club, represented by Danny Sanchez, Attorney Vedasto Basi, our DILG Director, Rotary Club of Caloocan North, represented by Ricky Santos, the Filipino-Chinese Fire Volunteer Brigade, the Parish Pastoral Councils, the Honorable Barangay officials, our department heads and other government officials, members of the Executive Committee of the Caloocan City Development Council, mga minamahal kong kababayan, magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Barely 8 years ago, I stood before the people of Caloocan for the first time as city mayor and made a vow to turn this city around from darkness, from crime, from degradation and poverty into progress, into economic development, into peace, growth and success. Yes, it has been 8 years ago. And today, at the threshold of my last term in office, I stand before you with pride because I can honestly say we did it. Yes, we did it, but it hasn't been that easy. I believe that it is 10 times more challenging to govern the city of Caloocan than any of the key prosperous cities in the Philippines. Why is that so? Allow me to lay before you the challenges we faced this year. As always, our big population remains a big challenge for us. In terms of population, Caloocan City is 8 times the size of Naga City and 3 times that of Makati and Marikina, which are the so-called key model cities in the country today. Hundreds of people, mostly from the lower economic spectrum, migrate to Caloocan City from provinces every year. Thus, no matter how many schools, no matter how many housing projects and facilities we set up, there would always be more mouths to feed, more people who will need jobs, and more people to take care of. Also, if I may be allowed to refresh your memory, we had begun in 2004 not just with an almost empty treasury, but billions in obligation left behind by the previous administration. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why it fills me with deep pride and honor to present to you my report on the state of our city today. From the time of our previous assembly meeting in September 2011 to the present, Caloocan City has received not just 1, not just 2, but 7 awards and citations. First, Caloocan was given the Bronze Award for the Seal of Good Housekeeping by the DILG. And for this, we received the amount of 70 million pesos from no less than the Good Secretary, Jess Robredo. This is a major breakthrough award in excellence in governance and a legacy by the late DILG, Jess Robredo. We are proud of this recognition because it highlights our excellent performance in planning, sound fiscal management, values transparency, and accountability. Out of 17 municipalities in Metro Manila, only 4 have been chosen for this recognition. And what are they? Aside from Caloocan, there is Navotas, there is Marikina, and there is Makati City. The good news is, Caloocan is now vying for the Silver Award, along with only 2 other cities, Marikina and Makati. Again, if I may say so, Makati and Marikina are only 1/3 the size of Caloocan. Harinawa ay makuha nga natin ang Silver Award dito at balita ko ay number 1 daw po ang lungsod na Caloocan. Palakpan po natin ang Caloocan. Second, we garnered an excellent rating in our compliance with Anti-Red Tape Act. Caloocan now has its own Citizens Charter, which symbolizes our sincerity and transparency in serving the people. I am also proud to announce in advance that we are up for another major award this year, the Gawad Pamana ng Lahi Award for exemplary performance in local governance. This is another recognition on performance, based on performance, transparency, and accountability. Fourth, the recent National Disaster Consciousness Month, Caloocan was given a perfect score in disaster risk reduction management and granted the Seal of Disaster Preparedness by the DILG. Yes, Caloocan is disaster ready. For the past 2 years, we have invested heavily in the necessary vehicles, equipment, and gadgets to secure the lives of our citizens. We have boom trucks, dump trucks, rescue boats, ambulances, fire trucks, backhoes, aluminum vans, payloaders, generators, and excavators, to name just a few. All in all, our investment in calamity-related vehicles, equipments, and facilities amounted to 150 million pesos. It is worthy to note, moreover, that in the recent flood calamities, many have observed that among all the cities in Metro Manila, the flood waters receded faster in Caloocan. Despite being surrounded by flood-prone areas in the Kamanaba, our well-maintained drainage system stood up to the test. As of this date, we have already constructed and repaired a total of 141 kilometers of drainage canals all over the city. Our fifth award was won by our Caloocan rescue team, who got second place in the Inter-LGU Fire and Rescue Combat Challenge held in Pasig last year. Sixth, Caloocan City was nominated by Meralco for the Luminary Award among LGUs for having an excellent payment record. It may be recalled that when I stepped in July 2004, the city owed millions of pesos to Meralco by way of electricity bills. We paid this huge debt along with billions in other debts incurred by the previous leaderships. As a result, we were rewarded with a 4 million peso refund by Meralco, which is now being offset in our Meralco bills. And lastly, we were recognized as the best in infant and child feeding initiatives in the NCR by the National Nutrition Council. In the area of financial management, we have more great news. Because of the fiscal reforms we have initiated since 2004, for the year 2012, we have already achieved a total gross income of 2.57 billion pesos as of this quarter. Our regular revenues is at 98% of our total city income. This says a lot about the stability and reliability of our income-generating operations as compared to only 87% average of other highly urbanized cities. While most urban cities have an average of 53% dependency on the ERA Internal Revenue Allotment Share, Caloocan depends less on the ERA, that is tagged only at 45%. Unlike in the previous decade, we can now boast of a vibrant business sector in Caloocan. Our business tax and fee collection has increased by 149% since 2004. In fact, our collection this year from January to August is the highest ever recorded by the city. We now have 18,000 registered businesses from only 8,000 when I assumed in 2004. Our reputation as one of the most business-friendly cities in the country still stands today, and we still rank second among those with the least number of procedures and the third fastest in processing business applications. Likewise, we have realized an increase in income from real property tax of almost 30% since last year. If there will be an award for the most number of infrastructure ever built by a city in the least period of time, I am sure our beloved city would also get that recognition. As of today, we have constructed a total of 190 kilometers of roads, in contrast to only 30 kilometers completed in 9 years by the previous administration. 65 kilometers of pathwalks, 141 kilometers of drainage, 886 lampposts, 56 water pumps, deep wells and shallow wells, school comfort rooms and fences, and a lot more public buildings and facilities. There is now a multi-purpose facility in almost all of the barangays in Caloocan City, as a testament to the usefulness and necessity of these multi-purpose facilities. As of today, we have a total of 375 classrooms already constructed and currently ongoing construction, as compared to only 34 classrooms constructed by the previous administration. At the beginning of my term in 2004, the classroom to student ratio is or was 1:85. Now, despite the continuous increase in the number of students every year, we were still able to bring this ratio down to 1:55. With the implementation of the K-12 program, more classrooms will be needed, and I promise that before the end of my term, we shall be constructing 300 more classrooms. Our answer to the increasing cost of college education is to continuously upgrade low-cost education through our University of Caloocan City, or UCC. From 4,000 students in 2004, our UCC enrollees have ballooned to 12,000 today. Kung wala po ang UCC, naniniwala akong marami sa ating mga kababayan sa Caloocan ang hindi makakatuntong man lang sa kolehiyo. Contrary to what is expected of low-cost education, our UCC graduates continue to rank high in professional exams. As a matter of fact, some of our graduates from accounting have topped the CPA exams and even the police exam. This is why, before the end of my term, we shall be building a new campus for UCC both in the north and in the south. Apart from access to education, we also focus on access to health care. This year alone, we have already purchased 32 million pesos worth of equipment for our PDMMC hospital, which has doubled or even tripled its outpatient services. Before my term ends, we shall be able to see the construction of a new hospital in Caloocan North. The people had requested for this, and now your wish will be and shall be granted. 8 years ago, I have vowed to empower the people and increase their participation in decision making. Today, our private citizens are very much a part of our major activities, such as this City Development Council Assembly, the City Health Board, the City School Board, the Peace and Order Council, the Urban Poor and Housing Councils, and other councils and committees. The general welfare of the citizenry remains my primary concern. Dapat po may ebidensya, dapat may katibayan ang mga nagsasabi na ang taong bayan ang nangunguna sa kanilang mga programa. For us, this is evident in our allocation of resources for gender and development programs through our frontline services, which exceeded the 5% requirement by Republic Act 7192. Moreover, the concerns of our senior citizens are addressed effectively through our Office of Senior Citizens Affairs in accordance with Republic Act 9257. Part and parcel of the City Investment Plan for Health are appropriations for monitoring the incidence of AIDS, AIDS, or Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome, as mandated by Republic Act 8504. Equivalent to 1% of the ERA was likewise appropriated to strengthen and implement the programs of the Local Council for the Protection of Children in compliance with Republic Act 9444. We have brought City Hall closer to the people through our CHOW program, the CHOW. CHOW stands for City Hall on Wheels. When people are not able to go to City Hall, we bring our various services right to your barangays. These services include our mobile clinics, free medical and dental consultations, employment assistance, vocational and technical training, free legal services, assistance to our seniors, sports clinics, declogging of canals, feeding programs, and urban gardening. We continue to support the national government's implementation of the 4 Ps, or the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program. As a major partner, and for this year alone, we are targeting a total of 29,182 families in all of the 180 barangays in the city of Caloocan. Thus far, we have already conducted 465 medical and dental missions all over the city. Our administration continues to maintain 205 daycare centers located in 109 barangays, catering to almost 20,000 children. This is apart from our 3 outreach centers, namely the Social Development Center, Tahanang Mapagpala, and Yakap Bata Holding Center. And I'm happy to announce that our Yakap Bata Holding Center will be having a new building by the end of this year. As of last year, we have already issued a total of 73,223 PhilHealth cards to indigent families, with premiums being paid by the city government. Moreover, our quarterly mobile passporting services has released more than 9,000 passports to date, which had a great impact in the lives of our overseas workers. In February this year, we solemnized the wedding of about 1,500 couples, resulting in a total of 11,000 couples benefiting from our free Kasalang Bayan. Caloocan City remains to be the record holder of the biggest number of the free wedding beneficiaries in the entire country. Our Islam Mas wedding is likewise the first of its kind in the Philippines. Our city animal pound, the very first ever established in Caloocan, was cited by the Bureau of Animal Industry for being clean and conforming to the standards of animal welfare. We continue to conduct regular anti-rabies vaccination programs, where unlike other cities, the vaccines are fully supplied by the city government and not the national government. Our housing program continues to benefit more of our poor constituents. The lives of some 8,767 families from the marginalized sectors have been transformed through our socialized housing projects. We have a total of 68 CMP projects both in South and North Caloocan. We also continue to support the Gawad Kalinga as a GK partner, as well as the Angkop Foundation by helping them avail of land and other infrastructure support. Employment for our people also remains a major concern under our administration. We continue to generate employment through our record-breaking mega job fairs. Last year alone, we have assisted 13,610 job applicants and 2,133 summer job students. Our community livelihood programs benefited a total of 28,000 people in 2011. We cannot belittle the impact of all these programs in the lives of so many people. These are programs that may seem irrelevant for the rich and those who criticize in the comfort of their luxuries. But for the ordinary resident of Caloocan, what we have done for them means a lot and will never be forgotten. Clearly, development is very much evident in many places in Caloocan today. Since 2004, the small-scale businesses that you used to see have been replaced by big commercial establishments. There are many new industrial activities that have sprung up in almost all of the city's 16 zones. Minsan nga, may nakaringgan ako na kritiko natin. Bakit daw po sa Ayala, sa Makati, mayroong Ayala? Matataas na building. Bakit daw po sa Taguig, mayroong The Fort? Nakalimutan po niya na sa Caloocan, mayroong pong The Monumento ni Andres Bonifacio. If we are to analyze it, Caloocan is clearly in an upswing despite the odds. Sa wakas ay dumating na nga ang magandang umaga sa ating lungsod. The only question that remains now is, do you want this momentum of growth and progress to continue? I'm sure you want to. And finally, let me assure you, my beloved ladies and gentlemen, that Caloocan will always be an very nice day. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay kayo lahat.
For our constituents, muli palakpakan natin ang ating punong lungsod, Mayor Greco Echeverry. May I request, Mr. Chairman, that Ms. Susie Garcia, the Budget Officer of the City, to be recognized for the reading for the approval of CDC Resolution 12-001, a resolution approving the Caloocan City Annual Investment Plan for the year 2013.
Si Russell,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Miss Susie Garcia is hereby recognized.
Republic of the Philippines, Caloocan City, City Development Council, CDC Resolution Number CM-RECOM 12-001. A resolution approving the Caloocan City Annual Investment Plan for 2013. Whereas Section 1092, the 1991 Local Government Code mandates the Local Development Council to formulate the medium-term and annual public investment programs. Whereas, in order to achieve and translate the city's aspirations and development goals embodied in the City Development Plan into concrete projects whose effects and impacts redound to the benefits and welfare of the city constituents. Whereas, the Caloocan City Development Council, in carrying out one of its major functions and in order to achieve the above-mentioned objectives, has formulated an annual investment plan for fiscal year 2013. Whereas, to ensure that resources generated from local, national, and other fund sources are properly allocated and utilized equally for the benefit of the city's constituents, funds were equitably allocated for the following services. Economic services totaling to 1,060,464,468 pesos. Social services, 756,554,035.10 pesos, which were broken down as follows. Education, 93,043,292 pesos. For health, nutrition, and population control, 400,098,459.10 pesos. For labor and employment, 62,015,293 pesos. For housing and community development, 120,321,402 pesos. And for social security, social welfare services, 81,075,589 pesos. For general services, 584,217,896 pesos. Non-OPs, 197,265,800 pesos. Statutory and contractual obligations, 643,806,466 pesos. Special Activities Fund, 689,140,775 pesos, with a total of 3,931,449,621.02 pesos. Now, therefore, be it resolved, as it is hereby resolved, that the Caloocan City Annual Investment Plan for 2013, presented to the City Development Council's General Assembly, held on September 21, 2012, be approved and immediately endorsed to the agencies concerned to serve as their guideline in the implementation of development programs and projects. Resolved finally, that the copies of the Caloocan City Annual Investment Plan for 2013 be furnished all the members of the Sangguniang Panlunsod, Office of the Mayor, City Budget Department, City Planning and Development Department, and other agencies concerned, government and non-government. Adopted and unanimously approved by the members of the City Development Council, Caloocan City, Philippines, in its General Assembly on the 21st day of September 2012 at the Bulwagan Katipunan, Caloocan City Hall, Main Caloocan City. Certified true and correct, Russell C. Ramirez, City Administrator. Attested by Honorable Enrico Ricom Echeverri, City Mayor, Chairman of the City Development Council, and members of the City Development Council Executive Committee.
Approval of the city's resolution number CMRECOM 12-001. Declare whatever statements or motion you want to have.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I am Puno Barangay Bitabang of Barangay 181. Mr. Chairman, I move for the approval of CDC Resolution number 12-001, a resolution approving the Caloocan City Annual Investment Plan for 2013.
I second the motion from the Urban Land Report Movement.
Made, but we will entertain.
Yes, Mayor. Mayor, just for the record, because the annual investment plan and the annual operations plan will be submitted to the City Council for approval. So may I just manifest my abstention? Since it will be, anyway, it will be submitted for the examination and we will have to examine it before, so I reserve my decision until after so may I just manifest my abstention?
Manifestation so noted. At this juncture, may we recognize the arrival of the Liga ng Barangay President, Councilor R.J. Echeverri. Do I hear any second? There being no objection, the same is approved.
Good afternoon. Number 12-2, a resolution itemizing and allocating the lump sum appropriation of the 20% of the 2013 Internal Revenue Allotment for the development projects of the City of Caloocan.
Yes, si Russell is hereby recognized
Thank you.
to read CDCM RECOM 12-002.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A resolution itemizing and allocating the lump sum appropriation of the 20% of the 2013 ERA for the development projects of Caloocan City. Whereas, as mandated under Section 287 of the RA 7160, otherwise as the Local Government Code of 1991, the city government has appropriated in the 2013 annual executive budget a lump sum amount equivalent to 20% of its annual ERA for development projects. Whereas Section 305, item I of the above code likewise states that the local budget shall be operationalized local development plans approved by the local development council. Whereas the City Development Council, in accordance with Section 109, Item A of the Local Government Code of 1991 and DILG and DBM Joint Memorandum Circular number 2011-1 regarding amendment of the DILG-DBM Joint Memorandum Circular number 1 dated September 20 of 2005 entitled Guidelines on the Appropriation and Utilization of the 20% of the Annual ERA for Development Projects, and DILG Memorandum Circular number 2010-138 dated December 2 of 2010 entitled Use of the 20% component of the Annual Internal Revenue Allotment shares shall formulate the annual public investment program of the city, which includes the use of the 20% of ERA for development projects and annual investment plan. Now, therefore, be it resolved, as it hereby resolved by the City Development Council in session duly assembled, that Section 1, itemization and allocation of the 20% ERA. The 20% of the 2013 ERA for development projects and annual investment plan of the city government of Caloocan in the amount of 317,725,614 pesos is hereby earmarked and allocated for the following development programs, projects, and activities: social development, construction or rehabilitation of health centers, rural development units, hospitals, and purchase of medical equipments amounting to 20 million. Establishment of rehabilitation of manpower development centers, 10 million. Rehabilitation of cultural historical sites, 10 million. Purchase and development of land for the relocation of informal settlers for their survey funds and relocation of victims of calamities, 50 million. Construction or rehabilitation of facilities such as multipurpose hall intended to cater out-of-school youths, women, senior citizens, minors, displaced families, indigenous people, and different able persons, 50 million. Installation and maintenance of street light system except payment of electrical bills, 10 million. Item 2, for economic development, construction or rehabilitation of local roads or bridges, and purchase of appropriate engineering equipment such as dump trucks, graders, and payloaders, 64,620,761 pesos. Capital expenditures related to the implementation of livelihood or entrepreneurship local economic development projects, 18 million. Item 3, environmental management, urban gardening, 5 million. Construction of or rehabilitation of material recovery facilities and purchase of garbage trucks and related equipment, 45,104,853 pesos. Implementation of flood and erosion control projects such as rehabilitation and construction of drainage systems, desilting of rivers, declogging of canals, 10 million pesos. The other environmental management that promotes air and water quality, 25 million, for a total of 317,725,614 pesos. Section 2, effectivity. This resolution shall take effect upon the approval and copies thereof shall be forwarded to appropriate agencies for implementation and for information and implementation. Adopted unanimously, approved by the members of the City Development Council, City of Caloocan, Philippines, in its General Assembly on the 21st day of September 2012 at the Bulwagan, Katipunan, 3rd floor, Caloocan City Hall, Main, Caloocan City. Certified true and correct, yours truly, attested by the Honorable City Mayor Enrico Echeverri as Chairman of the City Development Council, and subsequently signed by the members of the City Development Council Executive Committee, chaired by Committee on Finance and Appropriation, Dante Prado, President Liga ng mga Barangay, Honorable Enrico Judge R.J. Echeverri, Secretary to the Mayor, Cristina Mangustan, City Planning and Coordinator, Aurora Ciego, OIC, City Budget Department, Jesusa Garcia, Carlos V. Cabuchan, President, Caloocan Chamber of Commerce and Industry, represented herein by a co-member of the organization, Ponciano Sarmiento, President, Lions Club, Caloocan City Host. May I move, Mr. Chair?
Approval of the said resolution.
For the approval of CDC Resolution Number CM-12-002, a resolution itemizing and allocating of the lump sum appropriation of the 2013 20% internal revenue allotment for the development projects of the City of Caloocan.
May you please recognize, identify yourself.
I am Orly Galliano, President of SM Soto Incorporated.
Thank you, Mr. Orly. Any second on the motion? Yes, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. I'm Jenny De Guzman from PRC Caloocan Chapter. I second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Happy Valentine's, Miss Jenny. Any, do we hear no objection? Any objection? Hearing none, the same. The said resolution CM-RECOM 12-002 is hereby approved.
Maraming sa mga programang ating pong napuhan sa araw na ito ay para sa patuloy na pagbabago at pagunlad ng lungsod ng Caloocan. In this juncture, Mr. Chairman, may we now request that Attorney Vedasto Di Basi, City Director, Department of the Interior and Local Government, be recognized for the presentation of the Seal of Good Housekeeping to the City Government of Caloocan.
Attorney Vedasto Basi, City Director, DILG of Caloocan, hereby recognized.
Isang magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. At I am very proud to present the plaque of the Seal of Good Housekeeping to the City of Caloocan, of course led by our Honorable Mayor Recom Echeverri. But before I do so, may I just say something about the Seal of Good Housekeeping in reiteration of what the good Mayor already said a while ago. The Seal of Good Housekeeping is a project of the then Secretary of the Interior and National and Local Governments, Honorable Jesse Robredo, which is a project which recognizes LGUs with good performance in internal housekeeping, particularly in the areas of local legislation, development planning, resource generation, resource allocation and utilization, customer service, and human resource management and development, as well as in valuing the fundamentals of governance, such as the principle of performance, accountability, transparency, and participation. The performance is measured the LGPMS, the Local Government Performance Measurement System. Accountability includes accountability and transparency and the observance of full disclosure. Participation, of course, includes the participation of various sectors in society, most of which are present in this occasion, and they are the members of the business sector, the non-governmental organization, the civil society organization, of course, the the government sectors, national government agencies who are here this afternoon. So the seal of good housekeeping was awarded to the city of Caloocan because they have surpassed the test and validation conducted by the national office.
Ito po yung bunga ng pag-ihirap at liderato ng ating punong lungsod, Mayor Rico Michiveri. Inaanyayahan din natin yung ating mga department heads na samahan ng ating punong lungsod sa harapan. Ganun din si Vice Mayor Eli Rice. Cities and municipalities sa Metro Manila. Isa po tayo sa 4 na nakakuha ng award na ito at harinawa with the prayers of the NGO attached agencies from the urban sector, urban poor sectors, different NGOs and POs. We can make it for the Silver Award sa darating pong Disyembre. Harinawa ay makuha po natin. Palakpakan po natin ang ating mahal ng lungsod. Lungsod Caloocan City. Malaking tulong din po ang barangayan sa pangunguna ni Councilor RJ Echeverry. Dahil sa 9 na taon, nagkaroon ng magandang ugnayan ang barangayan at ang lungsod ng Caloocan sa pagbibigay serbisyo sa mamamayan ng lungsod Caloocan. Muli, tagumpay ng Caloocan, tagumpay ng mamamayan. Palakpakan po natin lahat ang ating sarili.
Ito pong award na ito ay napaka-importante po dahil may mga gamit po ito. At I'd like to inform the body that only 4 local government units made it dito sa award na ito. And it is the Caloocan City, Makati, Navotas, and Marikina. Very surprisingly, 70 million pesos po ang naibigay dito. Whereas sa Makati and the rest receive only like 35 million, 25 million. They were asking me why, bakit 70,000? I could not even explain it. But siguro, 70 million. Yes, 70 million po yung ating nakuha ang premyo rito at ito po yata ay nagamit na sa various projects na ating sinunod. And I would also want to inform everybody that we are a very strong contender dito sa silver na makukuha natin award this coming year. Kanina nabanggit na po yung ating nakuha sa perfect score sa ating disaster preparedness and naibigyan perfect 5 po yung ating. The score was perfect 5. The validators awarded 5 points to Caloocan City, which is perfect po. And sa GPL, maganda rin po ang ating resulta. And by next week, ibabalidate na po nila lahat ito. But I assure you, based on existing records, that Caloocan is a very strong contender dito po sa Silver Award dito sa City.
In behalf of the people of Caloocan City and in behalf and in the name of the City of Caloocan, we accept this award from the DLG through Director Basi with honor and pride. Maraming salamat po.
Okay.
bago natin ituloy, maganda meron kang criteria na dapat mong sundin. Hindi lang palagay ko dapat sa LGU like the City of Caloocan. And therefore, through this City Development Council Assembly, I am hereby issuing an executive orderly that we shall replicate the same. Magkakaroon tayo ng seal of good housekeeping para sa mga barangay. Maraming salamat po. Pero hindi ganun kalaki ang award.
And of course, thank you very much, Attorney Vedasto Basi, our Director of for DILG in Caloocan City. Palapakan po natin sa Attorney Vedasto. Mga barangay president, the city councilor Rico Judge Janver Echeverry, be recognized to be the moderator in the second part of our program, the Open Forum.
Is hereby recognized.
The floor is now open to any questions from the barangay sector, from the different sectors, from the Filipino-Chinese Caloocan Chamber of Commerce, from the school, sa mga kapulisahan. Maaari na ho kayong magtanong kung ano ba ang nasa loobin ninyo at kung meron pa ho kayong question para ho sa ating pagpupulong ngayong hapong ito. Basta ibubulong nyo muna sa akin, ha? Sige po. The floor.
Okay. Magandang ako to, Chairman, Mayor. Pangulo, gusto ko lang malaman. Kasi as we discussed...
Please identify yourself.
Yes.
And then
Sorry.
state whatever manifestations you'd like to make.
I'm Hobbit
Questions. And you address your question to the chairman, not to any other.
Yes, sir. I'm Hobbit Tiliano, Barangay 73.
And be serious.
Yes, sir. Kasi po, as we discussed last General Assembly, sabi ni Pangulo, magkakaroon po ng National Convention. Actually, sabi niya, 27 and 28. So ngayon, 21 na po. Patutuloy pa po ang National Convention.
Take note of your question and to be answered at the proper forum by the proper person. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Sabi ko serious eh.
Yes, Kapitan Dante Abuda of Bagong Barrio. Wala ko ba sa sektor ng mga principal?
Barangay Captain Dante Abuda is hereby recognized and he is the barangay chairman of Barangay 149 and he is the barangay beneficiary of the
Health Center,
lie-in clinic funded by the amount coming from the award we received from the DILG Wayward Seal of Good Housekeeping.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kung di nga ako nagkakamali nyo, Mr. Chairman, it's 30 million. 15 million for the infrastructure and 15 million is for the equipment and facilities. Mr. Chairman, pero ang aking katanungan ay hindi doon ano. Ang katanungan ko ay regarding doon sa perennial problem na kinakaharap ng hindi lang sa Bagong Baris, buong Caloocan, or if not buong Caloocan ay sa Metro Manila. Regarding doon sa ating mga CICL o yung mga children in conflict with law. Kasi nga po, sa aming experience sa barangayan, maraming mga youth offender na nakakakumit ng crime na hindi nabibigyan ng tamang o wastong pag-handle ng mga kabataan na ito, na dapat merong intervention na gagawin. Although kanina, nabanggit po ninyo, nabanggit kanina sa binasang city resolution na naglalaan ng pondo para dito. Mr. Chairman, nais ko lamang pong malaman yung details kung paano gugugulin at yung inilaang pera dito para sa pagpo-provide ng facility. Dahil nga, as experienced by most of the barangay captains, kapag dinala namin yung mga kabataan na actually napakabigat pa nga o minors na nakakumit ng crime, like for example, robbery, hold-up, some homicide, after 2 weeks, ay laya na yung bata. So yun, ang hinihiling sana nga namin na magkaroon talaga ng facility na mag-handle, if not to rehabilitate these youthful offenders, Mr. Chairman.
Concern of practically the entire country, especially so na ang youthful offender natin ay hindi po natin basta-basta pwedeng ikulong under the Angara Bill, no? But first, the League of Cities ay nagkaroon po ng stand na dapat i-review ulit that law na hindi pwedeng kasuhan, no? Yung mga minors. Insofar as we are concerned naman po regarding the welfare and benefit of the minor, the minority that ay tayo po from the present Yakap Bata Center natin City Hall ay magtatayo tayo ng bagong Yakap Bata Center doon po sa Barangay 28. Andito pa si Kapitan Galgana. Doon po natin tatayo. Palapan natin si Kapitan Galgana. Maraming salamat sa pag-host mo ng Yakap Bata Center. At ikaw isa sa mga batang kapitan. Alam kong mahilig ka rin yumakap ng pagyakap ng may pagmamahal sa mga kababayan natin. Kung kaya, Kap Abuda, let me also inform you na yung ating mga SWAT o Social Welfare Administrators ay continuous ang training natin sa kanila. Please note that when the bill was approved, hindi talaga very clear. No, wala tayong direction, wala tayong implementing rules and regulation na maliwanag sa pagpapatupad ng Angara Bill. But there's a law, we have to comply. Rest assured, Kapitan Dante, na we will address properly yung concerns mo. Thank you. Delinquency, yung youthful offenders. Kasi nga, hindi pala na-perfect talaga yung pag-address properly ng mga karaingan, problema ng mga youthful offenders.
Kapitana Cora Ubusan, Chairman.
Kapitana Cora Ubusan is here by the
Magandang hapon po, Mayor. Gusto ko lang po i-follow up yung request namin sa inyo since 2011 pa po. Regarding po sa drainage namin at saka road improvement.
This is 2011. Anong date po? Particular po?
February po.
Anong date number? Okay, ano po yung project ninyo? Hinihiling?
Kasi bumapangabot na sa aming, sa street po sa Noli Street. Sa
Noli Street.
Opo. Ito po yun, no?
At yun ay gusto nyong maayos ang kalsadang Noli Street.
Opo, at saka po yung drainage.
Okay, kasama. So road development and drainage improvement. Yan po ay hinihiling ko sa harap ninyo ay sagutin ni Engineer Eduria. Engineer, sagutin mo yan. Itanong mo, sasagutin na Edu.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. Yung pong katanungan po ni Ma'am Kapitana Ubusan ay kasama po sa priority list po natin ng Noli Street. Nakaprogram na po ito, napirma na po ng ating po ng Luzon at kaya nga po tayo nagko-contact po ng CDC upang makakapag-alat po tayo ng mga pondo para sa mga bats ng project po natin.
Maraming po salamat, Mayor.
Maliwanag nakasama po sa priority list. Hindi sa secondary list, sa priority list. Noli Street. Noli.
From the Caloocan Chinese Chamber of Commerce, Chairman, si Elvin.
Evan,
Magandang hapon po, Mr. Chairman.
we are the world. We are the
Actually,
children.
we're representing the Caloocan Filipino Chinese Chamber of Commerce. Ang katanungan po nila is bakit daw po napakaraming obstruction ngayon sa mga District 2, sa mga secondary roads. At the same time, kasi napapansin namin sa mga secondary, napakaraming squatter na ngayon sa mga 3 meters.
Ano po ba ang ibig sabihin obstructions?
Halimbawa po sir, yung mga tricycle na saan-saan nakaparada yung mga tricycle. Whereas minsan, yung two-way roads natin, nagiging one-way road na lang po dahil nga po naharangan nila at saka maraming counterflow ng mga tricycles. Number 2 po sir, yung napapansin mo namin, napakaraming mga tents na nakatayo sa labas ng kalsada. So nagiging, instead of two-way roads yung nagiging one-way na rin po because of the mga tents na nasa labas po ng kalsada na.
Kanino pong tent yung mga yun?
Yun ang po hindi namin alam bakit.
Alamin mo, kung sa akin hindi pwede yun. Kung sa hindi akin, lalong hindi pwede.
Actually, hindi naman po sa akin natin, sir. Pero syempre kasi, sir, yung business flow ng mga, yung mga transportation natin, nagiging mababagal po. Kaya talaga nagkaroon ng traffic sa Biling Caloocan because of this minor obstruction. At the same time, sa ano po meron, I think meron din sa 4th Avenue, 5th Avenue. Tsaka ho yung mga squatter po na tumatayo sa mga 3 meters setback natin po. Like sa J. Chodoro, meron din po. Tsaka yung mga first street, second street, third street, pag napapansin nung dito, sir. Dumadami po ng dumadami. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Sir, ang ngayon ay wala po si Mr. Al Santa Maria. Malamang inaayos niya na ngayon yung mga problema mo yan. Palakpakan natin. Ako pa.
Mr. Chairman, as a streets,
Siguro, anyway, very clear yan, no? Kami napansin ko rin yan, no? Akala ko'y temporary. Pero one, no? Officers concerned. Two, yung basketballan na yan, hindi dapat dyan unless meron talagang okasyon, fiesta. Other than fiesta, kung araw-araw ng laro, hindi pwede. Three, kung mayroon po tayong sa national roads na humps, bawal po yan. 4, yung sa mga squatters ay meron po tayong ahensya na mamahala dyan. Andito po yata si... Andiyan ba si Buboy? Liga, ito na si Buboy. Liga, Buboy.
Kapitan Roy Romero of Zone 11.
Magandang hapon po, Mr. Chairman. Ako po si Roy Romero mula po sa Barangay 128. Gusto ko lang po i-request din po, kagaya po nung kay Kapitana, doon po sa Barrio San Jose, sa Barangay 128.
Sandali, ikaw ba yung Roy Romero na dating tumakbo mo siya?
Opo.
Ikaw ba yung tatakbo muli ngayon?
Hindi na po.
Tuloy ang tanong.
Tungkol lang doon po sa request namin na multipurpose hall, sabi niyo po kasi kanina, Mayor, halos lahat po ng barangay nabigyan na ng multipurpose hall. Sana po yung sa Barrio San Jose, 6 na barangay naman po yun. Sana yung request po namin okay na po ninyo, Mayor.
Alam mo, siguro hindi natin dyan, hindi ko sabihin pangalan, ay ang lungsod po ay naglaan ng pondo at bumili ng private property para tayuan ng overcourt. Subalit ang problema ay bagamat nagbagandang loob kami, ay parang masama pa kami sa mata ng mga ibang kritiko natin doon. Kung kaya pinending muna natin. Now, if you are requesting the same, we will push through, then prove it that kailangan tuloy.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, magandang hapon po. Ako si Kapitan Edward D. Ginto ng Barangay 57. Mr. Chairman, follow ko din po kay Engineer Idoria.
Kapitan Edward.
Edward po, sir.
Edward Ginto. Alam mo, akala ko ikaw yung dumating na member ng combo band na... Ito ba si Justin Bieber na local na... Yung style ng buhok niya talaga namang... Di na? Spando, Spando ba rin,
Mr. Chairman, follow ko lang din po yung request ko kay Engineer Idoria. Mayor, since 2007 pa po yung...
Naku, matindi ko! Huwag na natin tanawin yung date, matagal-tagal na yan. Sige, Engineer Edo, sagutin mo na ngayon kung maalala mo.
Thank you, Kapitan Edward. Ang request po ni Kapitan Edward po ay ito po ay nire-request po niya na yung pong right-of-way ng 7th Avenue within this barangay and adjacent barangay ay masemento at malagyan po ng drainage system. Tayo naman po ay ang ginawa po natin mismo ng request po ng Kapitan, tayo po ay sumulat sa public works kasi mayor po mismo ang nag-request po kay NCR chairman po ng DPWH. Kaya po ngayon po, yung pong request ng Kapitan ay ginagawa na po yung halahati. We'll try to go to 7th Avenue now. Kinokonstructo na po, sisemento na po yung right of way ng 7th Avenue. At yan pong mga kanal po sa 7th Avenue. Kaya po, yung pong request ng Kapitana, siguro kinakailan natin na i-revise na po yung program plan.
Engineer, matagal yun na po pinarevise sa akin yan. Nakakailang follow-up na po ako sa inyo eh. Ewan ko lang po kung nagsasawa ng sekretary niyo sa akin eh.
Ano po, makita naman po siguro ng mga ibang kapitan mo dyan sa
Engineer Edu, you can call a friend or call a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Well, here, Attorney Bullet Prado pala. Para natin sa Attorney Bullet Prado. Okay.
Medyo at ipapailan na natin yung request mo para po sang-ayon na ho dun sa bagong programa. Kasi we don't know kung what extent po ang gagawin ng DPWH. As of now, makita nyo naman kat, naggagawa pa ho ngayon. So, kung mararamatin po ninyo, ipapailan po natin yan at the right time po. Thank you very much.
Hindi na
Ibig sabihin natin, Mayor, yung pong finalization of the program of board.
Ano ba yung hinihiling niya? Ano project ba?
Ang gusto ko kasi ni Kapitan Ho, masimento ko yung all throughout ng 7th Avenue with the drainage system. So, pati po yung...
7th Avenue, ito yung actually national road yan.
National
Take
road.
note, no?
Yes, sir.
Kaya hindi namin mapapasok-pasukan yan. Akala ko ibang kalsada eh. Yung 7th Avenue, for you to know, meron kaming program, yung 7th Avenue. Kung mapapansin natin, ang demography, yung mapa natin sa Caloocan, no? 2nd District. Ang mga kalsadang connecting or going through, makakalsod ka from Rizal Avenue to A. Mabini is only what? Samson Road, 10th Avenue, 4th Avenue. Yun lamang po. Now, yung 7th Avenue dahil National Road, gusto namin pong tumuloy yan hanggang A. Mabini. May pending project po tayo sa National yan. And as chairman of the Committee on Appropriations po na MDA at Regional Development Council, ay sinama po namin yung connecting road yan for the improvement of 7th Avenue. Hindi, ewan ko kung mapupondohan natin yan, pero siguro i-follow mo, Edu, sa DPWH sa kanilang pondo dyan. When you say 7th Avenue, hindi lang sa barangay mo, hanggang doon papunta sa A. Bonifacio.
Yes, sir. Medyo dagdagan ko lang po ng konti, sir. Yung po kasi request pa ni Kapitan, hindi lang 7th Avenue. Maski po yung portion po ng City Road, City State Avenue kasama sa request niya. Kaya po sinasabi ko kapor kanina na i-revise po natin yung program of work.
Sige. Oh, may sagot na pala eh. Umabiti ka na. Ito, i-prioritize mo sa kanya. Mamili ka lang kung anong year mo gusto magawa. 213, 214, 215.
Kasi 216.
216. Okay, ito, take note of that project.
Yes, Kapitan Lito.
Ako po si Kapitan Lito Rubio ng Barangay 9609. Bago po sa lahat, natitira si Engineer Duria. Ako naman po, nagpapasalamat po kay Engineer Duria. Nagawa po yung barangay ko. Tsaka nagpapasalamat din po kay RJ Echeverry. Siya po ang nagtulak para magawa yung barangay ko. Pagkuha si RJ.
Wala akong kinalaman dyan.
Meron po. Sige, kayo nag-approach. Ito po ang aking katanungan, Nanay. Meron po akong concern na tungkol po sa para lalo tayo sumikat. Ano po? Yung pong mga barangay, yung mga adik sa mga barangay. Dinala ko po sa Bagong Baryo. Ang sabi po sa akin...
Adik?
Addictus. Ano po? Adik. Hindi siya babae.
Adik ano?
Ano po? Yung drug addict. Sorry. Drug addict po. Nagtala po ako sa Bagong Baryo. Ang sabi po sa akin, dalhin sa drug enforcement mismo sa ngandaan. Nagpunta po ako.
May hinuli ka?
Meron po akong hinuli.
Saan?
Sa barangay ko po.
Barangay mo?
Aha. Ang sabi po sa akin, hindi natin madadala sa digo tayo. Wala tayong kadak ngayon. Yung pong mga dala ng adik. Dati po meron Mayor eh. Ngayon po, sa Bagong Baryo, marami na rin ako naririnig na marami pong mga drug addict. Kung maaari lang po sana, malagyan ulit tayo magkaroon tayo ng kulungan ng mga addict. Kasi po, sa amin po, meron, kaya lang, kung dadalhin namin sa bagong baryo, ang sabi po sa akin, dalhin daw sa Magalang, may kasos po ron. May kasos po ron Kaya kung maaari po, asikasuhin natin dito sa may bagong ba, magkaroon tayo ng kulungan. Kasi po, pagka...
Siguro, bago humaba yung tanong mo, for your information, while all of us, lahat tayo ay kontra sa droga, hindi krimen po ang para maging addict unless makuha na mo siya na may hawak siya in his possession mga droga. Pero being an addict per se, no, hindi po krimen. Kaya hindi mo pwede basta-basta ikulong. Unless eka nang may set up mo ng drug bypass operation. Addict.
Hindi ba? Sinabi ko ng nanay sa akin.
Tapos yung pakukulong mo, hindi pwede ganun. Unless, of course, you are referring to may voluntary. Di ba?
Yung madali raw po yun. Pagka voluntary.
Voluntary gusto niyang parehabilitate. Di ba? Ano ba ibinulong ng nanay? Sino yung parehabilitate niya? Yung addict o yung barangay captain?
Sabi po sa akin, nagwawala sa bahay siya, naghahamon. May dalang itak, wala naman akong nakita itak.
Executive order creating the City Anti-Drug Abuse Council or CADA. Ayan po. May kasama nating bahalang barangay mag-create sa ng bata. Ang Caloocan City CADA. Huwag kang makailam dito. Bukan sarili mo.
Hindi po inaano po kasi parang napapayarin kami, ganun, dadalhin mo rin, tapos hindi naman po pagka pala surrender, madali. Pero pagka hindi namin pakulong.
Oo nga balita ako din
Hindi po, tumigil na po.
Basta ulitin ko, hindi mo pala ikulong basta-basta. Okay, actually hindi kulong tawag doon. Parang voluntary surrender para with a good purpose. Hindi kulong kasi punitive ng konti yun.
Kapitan Gani Aragnon of Caloocan North area.
Kapitan Gani Aragnon.
Good afternoon po, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon.
Sagan Aragnon po, Puno Barangay 173, North Caloocan. Number 1 po, naging problema po sa Zone 15, yung regarding po sa boundary dispute ng ating mga barangay. At pangalawa po, regarding po doon sa RPT po, na sana po napapunta sa kanilang mga barangay.
Anton nag-CR. Ano yung siya mo?
Regarding po doon sa boundary dispute ng Zone 15, number 1 po yun.
Okay, so far as Zone 15, specifically your barangay, no? Meron kayong sa Zone 15, may boundary dispute ang barangay 173 with that of barangay 172. 171, di ba? Ang 177 ay meron naman sa 172 at kasama ang 179, tama? Ang 170 ay may boundary dispute sa 172. Okay. At buong Zone 15 ay may boundary dispute sa Valenzuela. Ngayon, siguro hintayin mo lang, tinatapunan namin yung committee na buo na yung pag-aaral dyan at hindi ko pala naupuan. Give me time. Direviewin ko lang maigi, no? Bago natin i-deliberate at pa-approvean sa inyo. Okay, yung kulang mo sa RPT, huwag ka malala, ginagawa ko paraan.
Yes, sir. Salamat po.
Okay.
Yun lang po.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, I am Jenny once again from Philippine Red Cross Caloocan City Chapter, and we would like to, in behalf of the PRC, we would like to thank you for all the support that we have been receiving. Kayo po bilang aming honorary chairman, and also si C.A. Russell ang aming chapter chairman. Marami pong salamat because the chapter has received 300,000 support for the blood subsidy. So yung mga mahihirap po na walang pambayad na nasa Diyos dahil makapagalantala, they were able to get free blood from Red Cross. Although the blood is totally free, but it has testing fee. So So the City Hall is being subsidized, actually subsidizing those patients. And also, just very recently, nakareceive po kami ng tulong from the city government. Maraming pong salamat because our rescuers, yung pong ating mga volunteers, mga first aiders sa chapter, meron na silang proper uniform, naka-tactical pants sila, reflectorized, meron na silang 4 na radyo, meron na rin po kami mga helmets and life vests. Maraming pong salamat sa 70,000 na donation po. And also, nagpapasalamat kami sa trust and confidence ng city government ng Caloocan, especially yung tiwala ninyo pagdating sa kakayahan ng Philippine Red Cross to train the barangays with first aid and CPR and basic disaster management. By the way, na-train na po namin ang Barangay 101 and Barangay 103 and kasunod na po ang Barangay 185. 5 days training po yun, sir. Yun po yung maibabalik namin na tulong sa inyo because yun po yung forte namin to train our frontliners in the community, yung mga tanuts natin and BHWs. And one request na lang po, although marami na kayong naitulong sa amin, kami po as auxiliary to the government, we still wish to serve Caloocan people more. By how? Since Caloocan City is already a title holder pagdating sa good housekeeping and governance and also sa disaster response, we would like to appeal the city government of Caloocan to host, brainchild din po ito ng ating chairman, si A. Russell, yung pong Blood Olympics. So kung meron po tayong competition about good housekeeping, we suggest na magkaroon po tayo ng competition in saving lives through bloodletting. So yung bawat barangay po can compete and the highest number of successful blood donors be awarded of something aside from certificate. And sana po maisama po sa projects po.
Sure.
Marami pong salamat.
Palakpan natin muli ang Philippine National Red Cross sa magandang suporta, pakikipag-ugnayan at kooperasyon sa ating mga programa.
Mr. Chairman, magandang hapon po. Barangay Captain C.C. Cuana Jr. Unang-una po, nagpapasalamat po ako sa paggawa o pag-ayos ng drainage dun sa Baisa Road. Kasalukuyan po ginagawa at matatapos na, almost a week na lang. Pangalawa po, maraming salamat din sa ilaw na ngayon, nire-repair po kasi nagkaroon ng bagsakan doon mag-ayos yung halray, yung construction po ng drainage. Mr. Chairman, ganito lang po yung point ko. Hihingi ako ng tulong sa inyo. Nandito po, alam ko, willing yung Caloocan na ayusin yung drainage doon sa boundaries ng Quezon City at Caloocan. With Engineer Idonia, pupunta kami. Kasama ng engineer din ng Quezon City. Nag-usap na po sila, nag-meeting na. Ang problema po lamang ay siguro kailangan with your siguro sa tulong po ninyo, sana po maisama po natin sa meeting yung MMD flood control. Kasi po yung pagitan, hindi naman po natin hawak na yung Quezon City. So sana po sa tulong po ninyo, kasi po yung isa sa tanod ko namatay na dahil sa sa liptos, dahil sa baha. So yung problema po namin, ang kwan po kasi Quezon City. So kailangan po siguro, ang magkikinabang po dyan, hindi lang naman yung barangay 158 158, 159, 160 at saka even yung 163 po. Kasi yung tubig, doon po sa limanong
sinasabi mo ay naiipon ng tubig sa loob ng barangay mo dahil main drainage na tatakban yan ay sinirado ng private property from Quezon City. Yun ang labasan niya. Okay, tama naman ikaw na ipinarating mo sa amin, engineer ito, trabahin na natin yan. So we need to sit down with Quezon City government. Plus we need expropriation dito. I don't know how we go about it dahil Quezon City government ang pagpopondo. I don't know how it will be done, no?
Yes, Mayor.
Tawagin mo siya?
Mayor, matapos na yung problema na to. Magandang hapon at maraming salamat.
Ano pa? Wala na, ilan? Okay, thank you.
Na makipag-ugnayan doon sa Quezon City para maayos po kasama ng MMD flood control. Salamat po.
Oh, yun lang, wala na. Okay. Oh, next. Dito.
Magandang hapon po, Chairman. Ako po si Raul Acosta po, Chairman po ng Amparo Transport Service Cooperative. Mayor, tanong ko lang po din sa yung dati niya pong napasimento sa Barangay 180 po, na hanggang ngayon po hindi po natuloy. Yung mga transport po namin, mga jeep po namin ay nagkakanda sira-sira na po dahil sobrang lumalim na po itong kalsada na ito. Tatanong ko lang po, Mayor, kung kailan nyo matutuloy po itong gawin o ipagagawa po.
Ito yung galing ko sa Hanay ng Transport. Yung anong barangay 1?
Yung hindi po natuloy dati yung pinasimento nyo.
Pwede, isama na.
Napakalalim na po kayo, tapos nagkukos na po siya ng disgrasya yung mga pasero namin.
Tama ka.
Meron po kami sa mga
Galit lang yun, no?
Opo, maiksi lang po yun.
Pinagawa po ninyo na Crispo Avenue po, no? Sa sakop po ng...
Na-apektuhan lang ng Manila dyan. Sige na. We have solution. Let's do it na. Okay, wala nang paliwanas dyan. Okay?
Thank you. Next, Kapitana Lourdes Merino.
Good afternoon po, Mr. Chairman. I-request ko lang po doon sa 12 Avenue po.
Wait. Sandali po, no? After yung pang-apat, kung puro infrastructure lang, isulat nila, bigyan lang kay Durian. Ano? Okay? Pwede ba yun? Kasi ganun din naman eh. But we want more ideas how to talagang paano natin patatakbuhin na maayos pa ang lungsod eh. Tama? Pero request lang yan. Ano yan? Naka-template na yan. Isang template na yan. Madali na yan. Okay? Yes, Lourdes.
Mayor, kasi po doon po sa 12 Avenue po, pagpasok po ng galing sa Avenue po, napakadilim. Gabit araw po, rampantang hold up doon, snatching. Yung mga snatcher...
Gusto mong maliwanag ang 12th Avenue?
Yes po.
Ganun kasimple. Hindi ba? Wala nang paliwanag. Because hindi man tayo, alam naman natin bakit gusto. Ha? Madilim, 10th Avenue, Rizal Avenue. Thank you, Lourdes.
Thank you very much po, Mayor. Thank you po.
Oh, Lourdes, ha? Baka hindi mo kilala si RJ. Oh, kilala mo pala.
Magandang hapon po, Mayor. Una po, nagpapasalamat ako sa nakarang 2011 po na pinagawa niyo yung Marikina Street sa amin at saka yung road po na pinagawa niyo po. Sa ngayon po kasi ang problema namin doon sa area namin na apat na kasakop na barangay ay kami po yung cash fisher ng tubig galing po dito sa Bagong Baryo, yung tinatawag natin Kasilik Creek po. Kaunting lang lang po ay malaki na pong baha. Hindi na po dumadaloy po sa ating tinatawag na Kasilik Creek. Kaya humingi kami sa aming lugar na apat na kasakop ng barangay. Sana po mabigyan po ng solusyon yung mga problema namin dahil marami na pong namamatay doon sa leptopyrosis po sa lugar namin. Kaya po, nire-request po namin na kung i-upgrading po natin ang Jeep Rizal, ay gawin po muna natin yung mga creek natin para mabigyan ng daluyan ang tubig.
Okay, so palagay ko sasagutin na ni Engineer Duria.
Maraming salamat po, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yung pong problema ko sa may bago ko, ay pinapagawa na po ng detail. And,
good, very good.
Opo.
Thank you. Next.
Nagawan Manuel.
Ito Mayor, hakbay ni RJ. Ako po si Kagawan Manuel Torres na classmate niyo po. Ang akin po, gusto ko na magpasalamat po Mayor.
Ang classmate ko. Salamat yan eh. Ni Peter yan eh. Di ba?
So actually po ay gusto ko lang po magpasalamat dahil yung Committee ng Housing and Development po ay pinasyalan na po kami ron kasama si Sir CA. So Mayor, kumpare, kailangan na lang po ay pirma nyo.
Approve na yan. Saan ba? Pipirmahan ko na ngayon. Ito, Sir Boboy, pipirmahan na lang. Endorse natin.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next. na sa akin yan, pipirmahan ko na po ngayon.
Chairman, Mayor. I would like to request for the Philippine National Red Cross to include children in training of disaster. Ay, hindi pa po pala ako nagpapakilala. I'm Toras Uncia, Community of Practice, Asia Pacific of the UNICEF. I would like to ask for and request that children be included in disaster risk reduction. As we know, we have Perfect 5, disaster risk reduction. And I would also like to advocate this for children that they may be trained in the communities. Okay?
Chairman? Yes, City Fire Marshal of Caloocan City. I just want to say thank you for the fire trucks that you have given to us. Thank you.
Ilang bang fire trucks yun?
3 po, sir.
300? Dami, 300. 3.
3 fire trucks, sir.
Magdadagdag pa po tayo. Meron pa po tayong... ito na yun po.
Yung daycare namin, luma-luma na. Magkakapagsakan yung mga kisame, yung tumutulo na po yung mga yero. Kaya po, ang request ko po, sana maayos daw yun.
Opo. Mamadali pa po.
Bago ba na? Bago mabagsakan yun. Ang bata na. Salamat po, Mayor.
Kapitan Ray Marquez ng
Ray.
Good afternoon po, Mayor. Papaabot ko lang po sana sa inyo. Nagreklamo ako sa Minilan. 2 weeks na. Nasa gitna po ng C3. Meron po silang bukay doon. Marami na din si Gracia. Nag-report na ako. Araw-araw matawag. Puro magagawa. Hindi naman ang ginagawa. Kaya kami na si Gracia. Lalo na yung mga anak mo to. Tumili kaya ako. Baka sabihin naman ng mga tao na nasa papa ko. Pinababayaan ko. Kaya siya hindi na ako humingi ng tulong. Doon po sa may kanto ng Tagaytay C3. Nakita nyo, may malaki. Maraming salamat, Mayor.
Hey, Marquez. Uy, si RJ, baka hindi mo kilala. Okay.
Magandang hapon po, Chairman.
Tignan mo,
Ako po si Josie Lakinak sa Barangay Sanity sa isang organization, progressive organisasyon para sa reform pasusunod. Concern ko lang po, kasi malawak po yung ating nagiging problema sa ating kabataan at the same time, yung ating CICL. So request lang po sana namin na na sana lahat po ng ating mga barangay ay magkaroon ng Women's and Children's Desk, hindi lamang para idaan doon ang lahat ng mga kabataan, kundi bigyan pa rin ng mga technical assistance tulad ng mga seminar or orientation regarding on children para mas magkatulungan yung ating barangay at ang mamamayan para sa mga bata. Dahil mas malaking problema din po ng mga magulang na hindi na nila napapasunod ang kanilang mga anak. Ito lang naman.
Si Pedro Patacano doon sa Homeowners Association, Barangay 165 po. Ako nga po yung nagtataka, yung aming kapitan, hindi na tayo pinadala ng letter sa ako po. Siguro malakas ako ngayon sa inyo. Ano na po ba? Yun po na. Nandun pa si Kapit.
Alam mo, sandali po. Bago po kayo magsalita, ilinawin nyo at siguruhin yung tama sa sabihin nyo. Because anything you say or do for or against may be used against you.
Kasi po, yung Bagyo Pang Mundo, Engineer Edolia po, pinano po yun, yung aming cover report. Ang tagal na po, wala pong lubong eh. Sabi po ni Sir RJ...
Please take note na dito po yung kapitan ng Barangay 165. Si Kapitan D. Santiago. Ayun, galit sa'yo, minumula ka na. Ayun, no? Namo, ayun. Hey, Captain, if you want to say that, then do it now. Sabihin mo yung personal mo sa kanya. We will entertain. 5 minutes.
Ayun po.
Ano problema mo, Kapitan?
Wala po.
Problema mo, Kapitan? Sabihin mo.
Wala po kami problema ni Kap.
Sabihin mo ngayon.
Wala po.
Ayun, si Kapitan.
Thank you po.
Ako po si Jun Matrineo, kumakatawa ng kapatiran magkakapitbahay ng Barangay 125 at saka ng Sagrada Pamilya Multipurpose Cooperative.
Akin lang po sana gustong i-follow up yung dating action na ginawa ng city government dito sa illegal settlers ng C3. May naiwan po isa na hanggang ngayon na aming kahilingan, hindi pa nabibigyan ng action. Yan po nagsasanhi ng baha sa amin dahil catch basin sa amin Pero kung yung pinagbigyan ng action doon pa, hindi na po natin kailangan yung leptospirosis.
Kailan ba talagang gusto ma-actionin yan?
Ano pa po?
Sabihin mo na diretso, maraming time. Let's not talk about the time said, just say what you want, period. Unless you have a better solution to that, or remedy.
Sir, Honorable Mayor.
Pakinggan natin si Gino Dunya na.
Sige po.
Oo.
Actually po yung problema po dyan sa C3, isang bahay na lang po na natira. 8 hanggang 10 kabayan po, 7 na kabayan po nag-iba. Meron pong natitira lang na isa. Hindi sa nakakausap ko naman namin na ang
In other words, on your report, Engineer Idoria, may nangyayari. Not as represented by him kanina. So let me correct that, whatever wrong impressions which may have been created by that statement in relation to, in connection with, and in conjunction with that project. Okay?
Maraming salamat po, Honorable Chairman.
Follow up ko lang po kasi yung continuation na aming barangay hall. Alam na po ni Engineer Doria ito. Engineer, nakita na naman tayo.
Sagutin mo siya, sagutin mo. Last appeal, kung infrastructure lang, ibato niya po kay Edorina dahil ganoon din ibabato ko sa kanya. Okay? Kung gusto niya i-follow up, if you can text me 0, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mali po. Number po ni Dante Prado. Ito lang totoo. 0918 920 6887. 0918-920-6887. You don't call me. Huwag niyo po tawa kasi naka-call divert ako. Kasi marami pong tumatawag sa akin, buong Caloocan. Hindi lang po Caloocan, buong bansa alam ang numero ko. So, tawag ng tawag. At kunyari, na-assembly ngayon, may meeting ako. Ring ng ring, wala na akong magagawa. But if you text me, kahit ano pa ang ginagawa ko, kahit ano pa ang ginagawa ko, maganda man o hindi. Babasahin ko yung text ninyo. Okay.
I think, Chairman, there are no other questions anymore from our...
May we recognize Councilor Chito Abel. Siguro bago natin i-close, sayang natin bumati muna yung mga konsel natin dahil nag-checka na rin sila dito. Mag-2 minutes lang, mag-2 minutes lang.
Maraming salamat po sa ating mga panauhin na rito ngayon at dumalo ng ating pagpupulong lalo-lalo na po sa ating mga baranggayan, sa business sector, sa academe, sa kapulisan, sa mga department head na nakiisa po sa ating pong napakahalagang hapon na ito ang tungkol sa development plan ng ating pong lungsod. At sana po makuha namin ng 100% ang inyong pong tiwala at suporta sa ating administrasyon, Recom Echeverry. At makakaasa po kayo doon po sa Sangguniang Panlungsod ay 100% po ang suporta pinakakaloob ng miyembro ng Sangguniang Panlungsod sa lahat ng proyekto ng ating lungsod sa pamumuno ng ating buting Mayor, Recom Echeverry. Magandang hapon po at mabuhay.
Echeverry at sa lahat po ng mga dumalo ngayong hapon ito sa Assembly ng City Development Council. Alam po ninyo napakalaking bagay na tayo po yung nanalo ating lungsod ng seal of good housekeeping. Kaya pasalamatan natin at magandang pagkakaisa ng ating lungsod magitan ng ating pagkakamit ng ganitong uri na parangal. Yun lang po, maraming salamat sa koordinasyon na ibinigay po ninyo sa hapong ito.
Ating siyudad, yan ay kasama po tayong lahat. Di ba? Kaya palakpakan po natin. Pagkakatanggap itong award nito ng Seal of Good Housekeeping. Siyempre, una-una sa ating mahal na mayor, Mayor Rego Menchueri. At sa puno ng Liga ng mga barangay sa buong Pilipinas, palakpakan din natin. RJ, alam niyo po, mahabang panahon na nagtitiis tayo dito sa Caloocan. Hirap, naramdaman, sabi nga, yung kahirapan may solusyon. Pero dahil sa 9 na taon na panunungkulan ng mayor ko, unti-unti, nakakamtan natin yung konting ginawa. Di ba? Ngayon, ang tanong, gusto po ba natin palawigin, pinakakamtan natin yung ligaya? O, katanya na. Ayaw ka! Ngayon, with that, ay binabati ko ang City Development Council sa pangunguna ni Ms. Ausiego at ang ating budget officer, si Susie Garcia, at sa lahat ng membro ng Executive Committee. Sana tuloy-tuloy ang tagumpay ng siyudad ng Caloocan. Yan lang ako po.
Tihan nyo daw yung boto nyo sa kanya. Palawigin, hindi palawigan. No? At nandito rin po si Councilor Dante Prado. Kain lang kayo habang nag-entertain sila sa inyo.
Nilalahad yung mga panibagong proyekto nagagawin po ng siyudad ng Caloocan sa pamumuno po ng ating kagalagalang na mayor. Sa kanya pong kagustuhan na lahat po ng proyekto ay maging transparent, proud to be a member and to contribute a little something sa pagpapatupad po ng ating mga proyekto. Maraming po salamat sa inyo.
Mayor, magandang gabi po at salamat po sa pagkakataong ito. Bilang isang observer ho, hindi pa ako naninilbihan sa ating local government, nakita ko po ang nakagalingan ng ating City Development Council sa pamumuno ng ating mayor. Nakita ko rin po ang kagustuhan ng karamihan na mag-participate para po sa ikabulan ng ating bayan. Madalas po, pag bumababa po ako, sinasabi ko po, hindi po kaya ng ating mahal na mayor na mag-isa ang pagpapabunga ng ating bayan. Kailangan po ng tulong nyo sa pamamagitan po ng inyong participation ngayong gabi, pakikinig sa kanilang mga gagawin. Isang malaking hakbang na po ito. Kaya po ako'y nakikiusap, tulungan po natin ang ating mahal na mayor at sa susunod po, tulungan din natin ang kanyang mahal na anak para pagpatuloy po itong mga plano natin, ang mga gustong gawin natin para po sa Caloocan. Muli po, magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat.
Si RJ, 30 seconds.
Sa ngalan na ng mga barangay na nandito ngayon, sa loob po ng 9 na taon na tayo po'y nagkasama, dito ko po masasabi na nagkaroon ng magandang pinagsamahan, magandang pagsasama, at magandang pagtutulungan ang barangayan kasama ang ating punong lungsod, Mayor Rego Menchueri. At dahil po dyan, may pagyayabang natin sa buong Pilipinas, dahil hindi lang naman po ako taga-Caloocan, ako rin po ang Pangulo ng lahat ng barangay sa buong Pilipinas. Masasabi natin, dahil dito sa award na nakuha natin, that truly we are a leader by example, hindi lang po sa barangayan, kung hindi sa lungsod ng Caloocan hanggang sa buong Metro Manila. Continue our na magandang pamamalakad at magandang serbisyo. Dahil basta magkakasama, nagkakaisa, alam ko po, magagawa po natin ang lahat ng mga gawain na masusolusyonan ang lahat ng problema. So muli po, sa ngalan ni Mayor Recom, sa ngalan ng mga konsehal at lahat ng barangay na buong Pilipinas, congratulations to all of you, congratulations to the City of Caloocan.
Sana tulungan nyo rin siya. At dahil ito naman last kong CTC Assembly, Sana patuloy po natin ang suporta sa assembly nito at gain din sa lahat ng mga programa natin patuloy niyo pong ibigay dahil wala man talaga makinabang dyan kundi talaga ang mamamendek natin at kayo. Hindi man po talaga si Mayor, hindi kami makonsihal, hindi po sino, taong bayan pa rin. So let's make this a resolve na itabi muna natin ang politika. Let's all resolve to do better for our city, beloved city of Caloocan City. Maraming salamat at mabuhay kayo. Huwag kayo mag-alala, may bagong umagang darating. Naalala nyo ba yan? Naalala yan? May bagong umaga. Tayo po tayo lang. As I adjourn this, tayo po tayo lahat. Sabay-sabay po natin palakpakan ang ating lungsod ng Caloocan. May bagong umaga darating. May bagong umaga darating. May bagong umaga darating. Mula ni Recon, pagpatuloy mo. Ipagpatuloy mo. Ipagpatuloy mo. RJ, 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 everybody, 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 my bagong umaga darating. Bagong umaga, may bagong umaga darating. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay kayo lahat. Closed and terminated and adjourned.